Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Monday, January 17th, 2022. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. This was my weekend to take care of paperwork, and I really hate the mundane minutia of this job, but it is a necessary evil, I suppose. And last night I tried to go to a friend's house for dinner, but it was too darn slippery for me, so Marie Callender and I had a nice meal together back at home. Ha! Well, it is Monday, and there is some news to get into, so let's get into it, shall we? Governor Hogan held yet another press conference to announce more help with COVID. This time it is with utility help in light of the pandemic and the cold winter. For those who are getting help with electric bills through the Maryland Energy Assistance Program, the minimum benefit will rise 66% from $300 to $500. And if you're getting aid through the Electric Universal Assistance Program, the benefit goes from $150 to $300. Additionally, the state is putting forth assistance to weatherize lower-income households. If you need to apply for energy assistance, you want to head to the Maryland Department of Human Services and you can get yourself started. Jury cases in Maryland are on hold again due to COVID. The Maryland judiciary announced that jury cases are on hold through March 6th, and while courthouses do remain open, judges are able to decide whether to hold trials in person or remotely. Now, all courts do require a face mask, temperature check, and a health questionnaire to enter. And while many are praising Maryland and heralding the turnaround of the Omicron variant, I am a bit more skeptical. While the past few days have been very encouraging, we need to remember that the numbers are still much higher than they were during most of the pandemic over the last 2 years. Hospitals are still stressed, and Mayo Elementary even closed for 2 days due to outbreaks. Finally, the numbers tend to be underreported over the weekends, and it is a holiday today. I'm not so sure how this is all going to work out, and I'm not sure that this is the time to rest on any laurels, but I guess we will see. It is 2022 and an election year, so of course there will be plenty of debates and forums. One of the important ones is coming up on the 26th of January. The Maryland State Education Association, or MSEA, Gubernatorial Forum will likely have all of the candidates participating as the teachers' vote is so critical. It's from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and will be streamed and recorded on the MSEA Facebook page. You probably want to put that one on your calendar. Again, January 26th from 8 to 9:30 p.m. Some sports news. The Bowie Baysox have been sold. Attain Sports and Entertainment acquired them as well as the Frederick Keys. Attain purchased it from the previous owner, Ken Young, who still owns 3 minor league teams, including the AAA Norfolk Tides, which is the AAA affiliate for the Baltimore Orioles. Now, fans are not going to see a difference, however. The Baysox do open the 2022 season at home on April 8th against the Richmond Flying Squirrels, and man, I love the names of minor league teams. As we mentioned back in November, WNAV was sold, and Pat Sajak, the prior owner, essentially gave the new owners $100,000 just to take it off of his hands. Honestly, I would have done it for $50,000, but that's neither here nor there. The new owners fired all of the on-air staff just before Christmas. Merry Christmas to them. And new ownership took over on January 1st. The new station does not appear to be programmed here locally and has very little local connections any longer, which is a disappointment and a true shame. When he sold it, Sajak kept the land, and we hear that he has a deal with Bozzuto in place to develop it. However, it is still being advertised as available for sale. Donna Cole, who's an award-winning reporter from WNAV, has written a very compelling opinion piece for us and also on her site, AnnapolisCreative.com, about why it should not be developed and why and how the city and county can and should step in and make it a park. You want to check it out at eyeonannapolis.net or head on over to AnnapolisCreative.com and read it there, and also check out all the other good stuff that she does over there. And finally, I am recording a few local business spotlights this week, so please keep the suggestions coming. We want to make sure as many small businesses in Anne Arundel County are featured as possible. There is absolutely no cost to the business. Email me at info@eyeonannapolis.net with some suggestions or shoot me a DM on Twitter. Up this weekend, we have Encore Creativity for older adults, and next week, Refill Station. I am so glad to get back into the swing of things with these. All right, that's it for the news. But first, a quick thank you to our sponsors for today's Daily News Brief, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long & Foster Company, Rehab to Perform, and a cool pop-up this weekend from Scout and Molly's and Stardust Deluxe. Alrighty, it is Monday, and Ann Alsina from CovingtonAlsina is here with your Monday Money Report. And as always, George Young from DCMDVA Weather is here with your locally forecast weather. All of that coming up in just a bit.
Get ready for the biggest boutique blowout you've ever seen. So big that Scout and Molly's Annapolis, Stardust Deluxe, and Mid-Atlantic Costume rented a huge warehouse for this event. Be there Saturday and Sunday, the 22nd and 23rd at Mid-Atlantic Costume in the Cromwell Business Park, Airport Road, Glen Burnie. You know the quality of fashion and accessories they carry, so don't miss this winter boutique blowout event from Scout and Molly's, Stardust Deluxe, and Mid-Atlantic Costume. For more info, visit their Facebook pages today.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Monday, January 17th. Cold weekend for the Annapolis region, with yesterday bringing a bit more snow in the afternoon and evening hours. Our third snow event of the month in the last 14 days. Though amounts were pretty light on the whole across the county, with most places seeing 1 to maybe 2 inches in spots. And even the Eastern Shore got in on the action when the expectation for most of the day was for primarily rain on the Eastern Shore. So it worked out fairly well for snow lovers on the whole, before a changeover then in the afternoon and evening hours to sleet and ultimately rain at night, creating quite the sloppy mess, all with the side of coastal flooding in spots. And of course, there were those gusty winds to cap it all off last night and even this morning. And those gusty winds will continue through all of today, with gusts over 40 miles per hour at times, and skies will stay breezy into tomorrow, with gusts continuing over 20 miles per hour. Before a pretty nice day Wednesday with mixed skies and high temps 45 to 50 plus degrees, before winter makes a return in the upper 30s or so Thursday, followed by upper 20s to maybe near 30 for highs on Friday. And it will stay cold over the weekend with highs in the low to mid 30s, and there is more potential as of today for additional snow over the weekend. So stay tuned for updates throughout that possibility throughout the week, as the sudden shift to winter that started on January 3rd continues as we move into the final third of the month by the end of this week. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on our website at dcmdvaweather.info. And definitely download our app, DCMDVA Weather, from the Apple or Google App Stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long & Foster Company.
One of the most common questions we get, how do I maximize the value of my home before I sell it? It's a great question. We look at improvements like investments. What is the rate of return? For example, if we invest $5,000 in painting kitchen cabinets and installing granite, how much more will our home sell for? The answer? About $25,000 more. That's a 500% return on investment. Because of returns like this, we have started a program called Investing in You. We know cash is often tight when you're making a move, and we are here to help. We will front you up to $15,000 to invest in refreshing your home before you list it, with the agreement to be paid back once your home settles. Call us today at 410-599-1370 so we can help you maximize your home's value.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
You work hard for your money. Is your money working hard for you? Managing and investing, it can be confusing. Ann Alsina, a financial planner from CovingtonAlsina, has been helping people make sense of it all for over 17 years. Are you ready? Now here's your Monday Money Report.
This is Alsina of CovingtonAlsina with your Monday Money Report. Last week was a volatile one for the markets, as retail sales and factory output data for the end of 2021 was weaker, inflation has been higher, and the chairman of the Federal Reserve testified before Congress. The current consensus is that the central bank will raise interest rates 3 to 4 times this year in an effort to curtail inflation. Factor in continued Omicron worries, and it adds up to a wild ride for the markets. In the long run, we still expect a positive year for stocks, even after the rocky start to 2022. The classic definition of inflation is too much money chasing too few goods. We understand the too few goods. COVID shutdowns of businesses, coupled with logistical challenges, have led to backlogs and empty shelves. Demand for certain products has also been higher, as spending shifted from travel, entertainment, and dining out to home renovations. The chip shortage caused a shortage of new vehicles, leading to increased prices in new and used vehicles. On the other side of the coin, the households at the top of the K-shaped recovery were saving money during the COVID shutdown. Commuting costs and entertainment savings went towards paying off debt and shoring up savings. In fact, personal savings has increased by $2.7 trillion. Much of this came from the government stimulus payments, which, in the necessary haste to help Americans who were suffering, were paid to many people who weren't affected by COVID and didn't need the money. Data from the St. Louis Federal Reserve Bank shows that the annual spending rate before the pandemic, in February of 2020, was $14.8 trillion. In less than 2 years, that number rose to $16.4 trillion. That's an increase of $1.6 trillion in spending. Since March, we've added another trillion, the fastest increase in spending rates on record. This is the too many dollars side of the equation. Increasing interest rates makes it more expensive to borrow and reduces the amount of money available to purchase goods. Your action item to take this week is to look at any variable interest rate loans you have and consider if it makes sense to convert them to fixed rate loans. If you are carrying balances on credit cards, expect those rates to increase this year and work towards paying them off as quickly as possible. We have 2 events this month. Our signature Women, Wine, and Wisdom goes co-ed for January with our economic update on the 18th. And on Sunday, January 23rd, our 6-week high school financial literacy class begins. You can register on our website at CovingtonAlsina.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. CovingtonAlsina and Great Valley Advisor Group are separate entities from LPL Financial. All performance reference is historical, is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions voiced in the show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be appropriate for you, contact the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a decision. And if you don't have a financial advisor, come talk to us. This is Alsina with CovingtonAlsina.
Are you an active adult or competitive athlete dealing with an injury keeping you from being at your best? Then Rehab to Perform is here to get you back to your full potential. R2P is a unique fitness-focused physical therapy company with 4 locations in Maryland. More like a training room and a personal training studio than a medical facility. R2P offers physical therapy for lower back pain, overuse injuries, post-surgery, muscle pulls, chronic pain, and more. R2P also offers rehabilitation for concussions and mild traumatic brain injuries. To learn more, visit rehabtoperform.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.